I thought Kevin Durant, after making a choice to go to the Warriors, which to me was about lifestyle and having fun playing basketball, but I don't think, in my mind at least, it didn't enhance his legacy because, again, you added an MVP caliber player to a 73-win team. Dude, you can't not win the championship. Like, it's almost impossible. So to me, that didn't prove a whole lot. But then he made a gutsy choice. Recovering from an Achilles, he goes to Brooklyn, USA, and teams with Kyrie to try to bring a championship in basketball to a championship-starved basketball town. Do you think Kevin Durant and Kyrie will work?
I think with keeping the pieces that they kept and removing themselves from this whole James Harden nonsense about, giving up what they had to give up to make that happen, I think doing that, keeping the core of the team, keeping the culture of the team, and allowing Steve Nash over the course of the next 3 or 4 years, however long, Kyrie and KD decide to stay there, giving him a chance to grow as a coach and building the coaching team around him that he seems to be building, I think eventually it's going to work. And when you say work, do you mean winning a championship or do you mean being competitive at a championship level? Because, Max.
No, you got to win a championship, Scoop. Let's put it this way.
Going back to what I said earlier. If the Lakers win it this year, and now they're in the conversation of one of the greatest teams of all time because of their makeup, does that make it, do you still give Brooklyn a chance, or is it okay if they lose a championship or two to that team because they're that great? Do you hold that against them?
That's fine if you lose. No, that's fine if you lose. It's fine if you lose as long as you also win.
Right.
In other words, what Kevin Durant's mission is, you got to win a championship in Brooklyn. You don't have to do it in year one.
No, right.
I agree. Do not have to do it in year one. But you got to win. What's interesting to me, what you said, is the James Harden nonsense, because a lot of people would say adding another superstar would make it better. But when I look at this Nets roster, particularly if you want to play KD as a 5, even though it's not really like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 anymore, but if you want to play him as your big, or as at least the tallest player on the court, because he can do a lot of things defensively too, I'm looking at the depth of excellent players on the team. Like Joe Harris fits in any lineup, can shoot the lights out. But Dinwiddie can do a lot of things, and LeVert is a real player. Like Dinwiddie and LeVert are bubble all-star type players who are ascending. And when you add Harris, who can shoot like that, to your main two guys, maybe they are just better off competitively without James Harden.
I think if you lose all of that, you lose the culture of the team, and you're starting to build a culture from square one if you get Harden in there. Because KD is new to that, Kyrie is new to that, Steve Nash is new to that, and James Harden will be new to that. The players you just mentioned, Max, are the core of that team. That's that team's entire culture. You can't lose a culture, an entire culture, and expect to be competitive when you're starting off at square one when other teams have already have something built in. So that's where I'm coming from. I hear what you're saying. You make perfect sense about the depth of what they'll lose, but in the process of losing that, you lose your entire culture, and now you have to build up a whole new identity with 3 new players who have nothing to do or have no connection to the culture that was there before. So I think that's a large thing to ask. And once again, I think if they get to the finals and lose to the Lakers, if the Lakers become that team that becomes generational, we have a legacy conversation about how good this Lakers team really is over the next 10 years, I think it's okay if KD and Kyrie don't win a championship, only if they lose to this all-time potentially great Laker team. If they lose to anybody else, that's a different conversation. But I think they'll be all right, and I think they will work if this is the team they wind up losing to, if this becomes their rivalry and their albatross.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.